Good morning, welcome back to the channel. Whew. Alright, like I said in my last video, we're going backwards. We're going back to tutorials, tips, because I've gone a little bit off piste. So this is Halford Combe. These are my top 5 tips for deer photography. Good morning and welcome back. So I've already had a good amount of success already this morning. I was up early, crack of dawn, sun up, beautiful bright morning, so well illuminated around here. It's freezing cold. It is minus one when I got out of the car. So still hats and gloves. It's beautifully crisp. It's lovely. Proper foresty morning, you know. Stunning. Why have I chose Halford? Because I'm in a rush. It's my wife's birthday, so I got to be back. We got a meal out this afternoon. I was going to go to Exmoor because there's snow up there yesterday, but I haven't got time for that today. So we're in Halford and we're going to share my top 5 tips on deer photography. And tip number 1 for me: know your location. Research it, learn it, walk it, and do it numerous times. You'll need to. You need to learn their movements. You need to learn where they go and where they like to stay. Oh, a little bit out of breath. I haven't done a lot of exercise this month. So it took me 2 years to understand this location. Where they go, where they stay, where they are in the morning sun. And lo and behold, we're up here already. And I've caught them in the morning sun, which has been stunning watching them. They're very playful. And for the first time ever, I was stood on one of the benches. I was talking to another gentleman, and one of them came over to us, probably 50 feet. So that was awesome. But yeah, tip number 1, know your location. Runs hand in hand in location, really. Your settings on your camera, learn them. Learn your camera, because your settings will go hand in hand with your location. You'll know where the darks are, you'll know where the lights are, you'll learn the sun, you'll learn where the sun is coming up from, which parts of the wood, forest, open fields that it lights up first thing in the morning. You should be able to look through your viewfinder, actively put your fingers on your buttons and be able to move them, shift them. All your details will come up in your viewfinder of what you're changing. You should know these settings. You should feel comfortable. Sit there in your front room and waste the battery just practicing on it, because it's so important. I'm up in a bit of the forest now, but I know very shortly I'm going to go into a dark part of the woods. So shooting in the fields is going to be so much more different to shooting in the woods, and those buttons will need adjusting. So tip number 2, know your camera, learn it, love it. It's almost got to be part of you, just instinctive, and that just comes with time. sit there in your front room, look through the viewfinder, put it on a tripod if you have to, and just keep messing with those settings, because you will instinctively learn it. And with deer photography, you've got to change your settings pretty damn quick sometimes. You might be going from a standstill slow shutter speed to them running where you want a quicker shutter speed. So yeah, there you go. So, tip number 3, noise. Shh. It's beautiful, isn't it? Listening to the forest. You know, these animals, they will hear you, they will see you before you've even got sight of them. You'll be so lucky to spot one that hasn't spotted you. You know, they're on tender hooks. When their ears come up, they know. And then you hear that bark, that warn. So don't turn everything off. Silent shooting, turn your phone off. Do you need distractions whilst you're up here? You don't need to be walking along with text messages. If you're with somebody else, keep your noise to a minimum. Well-placed feet. Look at the forest floor. Look what you're about to stand on. Don't go chattering away to your mate, walking all over the broken branches and making, you know, that snapping twig noise. It's so important. So yeah, there you go. Tip number 3, cut your noise out. Whilst we're at this location, this branch, be prepared to stay. All right. I sat. Well, I sat. I laid across this branch for half an hour once. This is a good location where I am now. They often congregate here during the day. I lied on this branch for half an hour with a stag over there. So be prepared. Make sure you're comfortable, because once you're in your position and you've got your settings dialed in, and it's just nice to watch them as well to see what else they do. But if you're uncomfortable and you start moving, you make noise, you're done for. They're out there. Right, tip number 4, patience. I think this goes hand in hand with perseverance. So when you're out in the field, be patient, be prepared to sit there for hours. Much like aviation photography, any type of wildlife photography, you've got to be prepared, got to have that mindset, you're going to be there for a while. I walked round the corner this morning, there's deer in the field. How many times have I been here unsuccessfully? Loads. So that patience bit is really important. But flip that with perseverance. The perseverance part comes in with you keep coming and you keep coming. And then when you're unsuccessful, you're downtrodden and you're feeling like this is never going to happen, you come again. It took me 2 years from the moment I picked up a camera, it took me almost 2 years to get that deer shot, that first ever deer shot, and I'll never forget it. If I knew what hard drive it was on, I'd show you, but I don't. But it is up on my wall. you've got to be prepared to come up here a lot of times. And this is where it comes into, some people prefer a hide, some people will set up a tent, we know with the landowner's permission, they'll sit there for hours. Me personally, I think that's wasted. Although I'd like to try it one day, I think it's a little bit wasted because I love the walk-in side of it as well. And I've got my landscape lens, a go-to landscape lens in the bag as well. Should the sunrise have been that beautiful this morning, I can swap out. But normally I come with a plan. But I have been up to Halford countless times, countless. And you've got to persevere. Don't ever give up, because it will come and you will get that shot, I promise you. So yeah, tip number 4, patience and perseverance. Now, my kit setup for wildlife, I've got 200 to 600, Sony's option of a 200 to 600. I've got Sony's AR7 Mark III. Now, I like it, I love it. Excuse me. But my focus setting is often the main issue. You've got your landscape settings where you're out to infinity, or you're focus stacking, or you're focusing on a certain part of the landscape. But with both aviation and wildlife, it's a mixed bag. I mean, with aviation, it's a plane in the air. You often haven't got the distractions what you've got in the forest of branches getting in the way. When I've got deer in the field, I prefer tracking. Sony's tracking mode is brilliant. I prefer that with aviation. You lock on, it tracks it, you pan. When I'm in the woods, I prefer a center focus, because that allows you to focus, whereas the focus, if you're tracking it, it will look for something. With your central focus, you can put that on the deer's head, look at the eyes, go for the eyes, and focus from there. It doesn't always work, and sometimes it's not very sharp, and that's why I prefer the handle on the bottom. So I prefer that. I prefer holding my camera with it. I can flip the camera up at a moment's notice. Some people don't. I feel with my arm stretched out under the lens hood, it becomes very difficult to hold the camera steady. And that's another thing. When you're in the forest, don't be afraid to use things around you. I'd much rather put my camera on a fence post, a branch, than just have that. Oh, is it bragging rights? Oh, it's handheld. Of course it's handheld. You've got the camera in your hand. Get over your handheld crap. Use the stuff around you. I'd much rather have a pin sharp image than bragging rights. It's handheld. Yeah, pin sharp every time. So look for props. Use whatever you can find. Another top kit tip, always have a spare battery. If you're constantly high speed shooting, constantly using focus modes, you're going to drain the battery. Switching between settings. Start with a charged battery, have a charged battery to spare. There you go. God, it's lush out here. It's just lush. I'm just full of tips this morning. I'm real. Travel light. Why? Because you don't want a heavy, big, clunky bag. Do you need filters, density filters for deer? No, you don't. I've got a small little bag on this morning. I've got a bottle of water, I've got my drone, and I've got a landscape lens, should anything else interest me, and I have no luck with deer. So there, travel light. Right, last one. Make sacrifices. What do I mean by this? Set that alarm clock. Get up early. Get out. I've had a prime example. Now, it's not their fault. A couple have just walked past me, giving it all that. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Now, they're quite entitled to do that. They're out for a walk. They're out for a happy couple walk, talking to each other. But if you're there looking at deer, they're going to be gone. So make the sacrifice. Set your alarm. Crack of dawn. Watch the sunrise and start shooting. So that's probably the best tip. Make that sacrifice, especially with deer that are seldom seen. So let's go back to Bristol the other week when I went to Ashton Court. Those deer, they love a selfie. They love a photo. All right, they're used to it. These aren't. So you need to make those sacrifices. You need to come out early. And that means, in my true autistic style, stay away from humans. Yes. Heyo. So that's it for another video. My Osmo Pocket ran out of battery and I didn't have a spare battery pack to charge it. I think I know why it's been draining. It's because I've had that microphone plugged into it. So I need to do a little bit of crossing the T's and dotting the I's with my setup. Anyway, that's it. That's all the deer pictures. That's everything you've seen. I just wanted to say that's the end. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. And I'll see you very, very soon for more tips, tutorials, and a little look into what I do. So thanks, stay safe, have a good week, see you soon.